Seniors, 3 vitamins that bring back leg strength in just days. Have you noticed your legs aren't what they used to be? Not in a dramatic fall down kind of way, but in the quiet moments like when you're sitting at the kitchen table and it takes just a little more effort to stand, when the stairs seem steeper than they did last year, or when walking across the living room feels like trudging through thick sand. You haven't done anything wrong. In fact, most seniors I meet say the same thing. I thought it was just age, but here's the truth. It's not just age. It's your body asking for help in the only way it knows how, quietly. You see, after 60, our muscles, especially in the legs, begin to lose strength, not just because we move less, but because we're missing something small but powerful, something we can fix. 3 overlooked vitamins, that's it. 3 simple nutrients that can help your legs feel stronger, lighter, and more stable again. No fancy machines, no sweaty workouts, just the right tools, in the right way. So, grab your tea, take a breath, and settle in. Let's walk through this together, one small step at a time. Part 1. The Sunday Chair Test. How your body quietly waves a red flag. Let me paint a picture for you. It's Sunday morning. You're in your favorite chair. Coffee in hand. The sun's peeking through the window. Blinds. A moment of peace. Then, it's time to stand up. You lean forward, push off your knees, and for a second, your legs hesitate. Just a second, but enough to notice. Now, you don't fall. You don't cry out in pain, but something's different. That tiny pause. It's your body raising its hand. It's one of the earliest signs of a condition most people haven't heard of, sarcopenia, which is just a fancy name for muscle loss that comes with age. And I don't mean bulky muscles like a bodybuilder. I mean the quiet, useful strength in your thighs, calves, and hips, the muscles that let you rise, walk, and catch yourself if you trip on that rug you swore you'd move. Here's what's wild. After age 60, we lose up to 3% of our muscle strength every year. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because our body stops absorbing nutrients the way it used to. It happens silently. No warning signs. No flashing lights. Just a little more effort to get off the couch. A slower trip to the mailbox. A feeling that your legs are tired before you even start moving. But here's the thing. This doesn't mean your best days are behind you. It means your body's whispering for support. And if you know what to look for and how to respond, you can absolutely turn things around. Because while your legs may feel like they're growing older, your ability to nourish and strengthen them, that part is still very much alive. Part 2, vitamin D3, the light switch your legs have been waiting for. Now let's talk about sunshine, or more accurately, what your body does with it. There's a woman I'll never forget. Her name's Jeanette. She's 76 from Boise. And she came into my office saying, "Doc, I'm not in pain exactly, but walking just feels off." She said her legs felt heavier. Her steps were slower. And the weirdest part, she couldn't explain why. No injury, no diagnosis, just less oomph. Jeanette was low on vitamin D3, something most seniors are, especially after 60. Let me explain why this matters. Vitamin D3 isn't just for bones, it's the light switch for your entire neuromuscular system. That's a fancy way of saying it helps your brain talk to your muscles, keeps your nerves sharp, and your steps balanced. Without enough of it, your muscles feel like they're moving through wet cement. The problem is, after 60, our skin doesn't convert sunlight to D3 like it used to. We also spend more time indoors, wear more layers. And if we're honest, that Arizona sunshine gets traded for the recliner and a good Western movie. Jeanette wasn't weak, she was dimmed. And after just 2 weeks on a D3 supplement taken in the morning with her oatmeal and a slice of avocado toast. Yes, she's fancy. She called me and said, I cleaned the kitchen without sitting down once. That's what D3 does. It doesn't make you superhuman. It just brings the power back online. Your legs aren't lazy. They're waiting for the signal. And when that switch gets flipped, even one flight of stairs feels possible again. So if your muscles feel slow, your balance feels shaky, and stairs make you pause, don't just blame age. Check the light. Check your D3. Part 3. B12. The missing message between your brain and your feet. Let me tell you about Benny. Benny is 81, a retired postman from South Carolina, always cracking jokes, always wearing mismatched socks on purpose, mind you. He told me once, Doc, I used to walk 10 miles a day delivering mail. Now I can't even trust my legs to carry me to the fridge. He laughed. I didn't. Because what Benny was describing is something I see a lot. That strange disconnect between your mind and your legs, like you want to move, but your legs are half a second behind, or they feel asleep. Or worse, they just don't feel like they belong to you anymore. That's classic vitamin B12 deficiency. Now here's the kicker. B12 doesn't just help with memory and energy like the commercials say. It's the glue between your brain and your body. It helps nerves send fast, clear signals to your muscles, especially in your legs and feet. Without it, your steps get wobbly. Your balance slips. You might feel tingling, numbness, or even a strange buzzing under your toes like a phone on silent, vibrating where it shouldn't. And guess what? You could be eating totally fine and still be deficient. Why? Because as we age, our stomach acid goes down, and acid is what helps us absorb B12 from food. Benny was on an acid blocker for heartburn. No one told him it could block B12 too. After we got him on a small daily dose of methylcobalamin, that's the active form of B12, he came back a month later and said, Doc, I chased the cat off the porch yesterday. That thing flew. That's the power of reconnecting your system. B12 isn't about memory pills. It's about motion, coordination, confidence. If you're feeling like your feet are fuzzy, your legs don't always listen, or your balance is off, check your B12. Your brain's trying to call. Let your legs pick up the phone. Part 4. Thiamine B1 when your legs feel tired before they even move. Now let me introduce you to someone who might sound a bit familiar. Ruth, 73 from Kansas City. She's one of those grandmothers who always has something baking in the oven and still keeps score at bingo like it's a competitive sport. But one day, she said something that stopped me. She said, I'm not in pain, doctor. I'm just tired in my legs before I even do anything. Not her body, not her mind, her legs. Like they had given up before the race even started. That, my friend, is often a signal that you're running low on thiamine, also known as vitamin B1. Think of thiamine like gasoline. Without it, your muscles, especially the big ones in your legs, can't turn food into energy. It's like having a perfectly good car with no fuel in the tank. Thiamine is crucial for converting carbohydrates into something called ATP. That's the energy your muscles need to move. When it's missing, every step feels like work. Your muscles feel heavy, crampy, and slow to recover. Here's the problem. Most seniors don't get enough thiamine, especially if they take diuretics, water pills for blood pressure, drink alcohol, even in small amounts, eat a lot of processed foods, or have a history of digestive issues. And the real kicker, Ruth had been on diuretics for years. No one told her they flush thiamine out of your body. We started her on a low-dose thiamine supplement, just 50 milliliters a day with breakfast. After 5 days, she called and said, I walked through the grocery store and didn't stop once. Even the cereal aisle, I asked her what she bought. She said, 2 boxes of oats and a bar of chocolate for balance. That's Ruth. But really, this isn't just about energy, it's about freedom. When your legs work, your life works. So if you're feeling exhausted before you've even begun, check your thiamine. Your legs might just be waiting for fuel. Part 5. How to take these 3 vitamins without making a mess of your routine. So now you're probably thinking, all right, Doc, D3B12. Thiamine sounds great, but how do I actually take these without turning my breakfast table into a pharmacy? I hear you. Loud and clear. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be complicated. Let me walk you through what I tell all my patients and what I actually told my Aunt Bonnie, who now thinks she's my second receptionist. First off, vitamin D3. This one's a morning player. You want to take it with breakfast, but only if you've got a little healthy fat on the plate. Think scrambled eggs, a bit of yogurt, peanut butter toast, or even just a drizzle of olive oil on something. Why? Because D3 is fat soluble. That means your body needs fat to absorb it. No fat, no benefit. Just don't take it right before bed. It's subtle, but in some people, it messes with sleep. Next up, vitamin B12. This one is like your lunch buddy. I usually suggest taking it around midday, especially if it's a lozenge or dissolves under the tongue. It boosts alertness and balance, but if you take it too late in the day, it could make you feel a little wired at bedtime. And here's a tip. Don't take it with black tea or coffee. They interfere with absorption. Lastly, thiamine vitamin B1. Think of this as your morning fuel. Take it with your first meal of the day, especially if you've got some carbs or protein on the plate like oats, toast, or eggs. It'll help keep your legs from feeling like lead and give you steady energy throughout the day. Now here's something people always ask me. Doc, can I just take a multivitamin instead? Maybe, but you have to read the fine print. A lot of multivitamins for seniors underdose these 3 nutrients. Or they mix fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins together and tell you to take it on an empty stomach, which is like washing your hair with conditioner first and wondering why it looks weird. So if you do take a multivitamin, do it with food and double check the label to make sure it's got 800 2000 IU of D3, 500 1000 mcg of methylcobalamin, B12, at least 10 milligrams of thiamine, though 50 milligrams is often better if you're showing signs of deficiency. Bottom line, make your vitamins part of your daily rhythm, not a chore. Not a guessing game. Think of them like your socks, different ones for different parts of the day, but together they keep you walking steady. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about giving your body the chance to feel good again, one small habit at a time. Even if that habit starts with a spoonful of peanut butter and a smile. Part 6. Warning signs. Your body is whispering and when to call your doctor. All right, let's slow it down for a second, because this is the part where I want you to really listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Your body doesn't yell when something's off. It whispers. It says, hey, these stairs feel harder today. Or, why am I wobbling when I put on my pants? Or even, why do my feet feel like they're buzzing when I sit still? These small things, they matter. Now look, I'm not saying you should panic. I'm saying you should pay attention. If you're over 60 and you've noticed things like legs that tire quickly, even before you've done much, difficulty keeping your balance on flat ground, numbness, tingling, or strange sensations in your feet, feeling like your legs don't always follow instructions, needing more help to get out of a chair or off the toilet. Those are not just normal aging. Those are check engine lights, and they're often linked to deficiencies in D3B12 or thiamine. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a patient named Earl 75 Sharp Dresser. Always wore cologne like he was going on a date. Even when he wasn't, he told me, "Doc, I don't fall, I just almost fall a lot." That stuck with me. We ran some basic labs. His D3 was low, his B12 was borderline, his thiamine. Practically on vacation, and 3 months later, after getting his levels back on track, Earl told me, "You know what's crazy? I walk into rooms now like I own the place. Not like I'm sneaking in hoping I don't trip over the carpet. That's what I want for you." But here's the thing, I'm not asking you to self diagnose. I'm asking you to have a conversation with your doctor, a real one. Ask for a blood test. Ask to check your vitamin levels. If you're taking certain meds like metformin, acid blockers, or water pills, you might be more vulnerable to these deficiencies than you think. And if you've got liver or kidney issues, you need to be extra cautious because those organs are in charge of clearing out any excess. Even good things like vitamins can pile up in the wrong situation. This isn't about fear. This is about awareness. Because the sooner you catch it, the sooner you can fix it. And believe me, your body wants to feel better. It just needs the right tools. You're not fragile. You're wise. And wise people, they listen when their body speaks, even if it's just a whisper. Part 7. What happens when you don't listen? The real cost of waiting. Now, I hate this part, but we have to talk about what happens if we ignore the signs. Not to scare you, just to be honest, because I've seen it too many times. There was this gentleman named Walter, 79, from northern Minnesota. Retired machinist, quiet, proud, kind of guy who fixed everything around the house himself. He brushed off the heaviness in his legs, said he was just slowing down. He ignored the numbness in his feet, called it normal. He didn't tell his wife about the 2 times he almost fell reaching for the phone. By the time he came to me, he'd already had a serious fall in the garage, broke his hip, months of rehab, lost confidence, lost independence, all because no one told him that his legs weren't weak, they were nutrient starved. I don't tell you that story to make you afraid. I tell you because it doesn't have to be that way. You see, losing muscle strength, balance, and nerve connection isn't an event, it's a process. And if we interrupt that process early, even just by supporting your body with the right vitamins, we can turn things around. I've seen it. I've seen a 78-year-old woman who was afraid to walk to her mailbox become the leader of her local walking group, all because she got her B12 and D3 back in range. I've seen a retired nurse who felt too weak to stand for long cook Thanksgiving dinner again after getting her thiamine levels up. Waiting doesn't make things easier, and it certainly doesn't make them better. So if you've been brushing off symptoms, writing things off as just age, or feeling like it's too late, I want you to hear this. It's not too late. Not by a long shot. Your body wants to bounce back. It's just waiting for you to say yes. Say yes by asking your doctor. Say yes by starting one new habit. Say yes by giving yourself permission to matter again. Because you do, you always have. Part 8. Real stories. Real change. What happens when seniors start nourishing their legs? Let me tell you something that gives me goosebumps every time. When seniors finally get the nutrients their legs have been asking for, the change isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's freedom. I'll never forget this couple. Howard and Lila, 84 and 82, married for 61 years, still called each other sweetheart. Lila had been struggling with her legs for a while. She said she felt like she was walking through molasses. Couldn't stand long enough to make her famous apple pie anymore. Howard, well, his balance was getting worse, and he started needing help getting out of his recliner. But here's the twist: they both were low in vitamin D3, B12, and thiamine. It wasn't a coincidence. We started them slow. Simple supplements, one after breakfast, one at lunch, one before dinner, no fancy gadgets, no scary procedures, just vitamins, the kind their bodies had quietly run low on. 3 months later, Lila showed up to my office with a fresh baked apple pie. I asked her, "Did you make this?" She smiled, winked, and said, "Doc, I made two. You only get one." Howard said, "I had to chase her out of the kitchen. She was dancing to the radio." That's what happens when the body finally gets what it needs. The world opens up again. I've had patients tell me they finally took a walk around the block without gripping their cane, that they made it through church without fidgeting in pain, that they stood up from the couch and didn't feel afraid of falling for the first time in years. You see, when we restore strength in the legs, we don't just give people back movement. We give them back moments. Moments to cook, to laugh, to dance, to hug someone a little tighter. Your legs carry your life story. Let's help them carry a little longer, a little stronger, with just 3 small tools and a lot of hope. Let's take a breath and bring it all together. If your legs have felt heavy, shaky, or simply not as strong as they used to, if you've been chalking it up to just age, if you've started avoiding the stairs, skipping the evening walks, or feeling nervous when getting out of a chair, then I want you to remember this. It might not be age. It might be your body whispering for help. We talked about vitamin D3, the quiet switch that powers your muscles, balance, and nerves. We looked at vitamin B12, the missing link between your brain and your feet, helping your legs follow through with every step. And we discovered thiamine, vitamin B1, the fuel that gives your legs the energy to move, recover, and carry you through the day. These aren't miracle cures, they're missing pieces. And when they're returned to your body, incredible things happen, not overnight, but in steady, gentle ways, like walking a little farther, standing a little longer, smiling a little more. I've seen it in my clinic. I've seen it in my family. I believe you can feel it too. So here's your invitation. Talk to your doctor. Ask about these vitamins. Ask for a simple blood test. Begin slowly with one supplement, one meal change, one hopeful step. And if you have someone you love, a parent, a friend, a neighbor who's been slowing down, share this video with them. Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is tell someone we care. And before you go, let me ask, what surprised you today? What reminded you of someone you love? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Because the truth is, we're not just aging. We're still becoming. And your next chapter can be lighter, stronger, and full of steady steps forward, one powerful stride at a time.